Welcome back to another episode of the Miami Heat Roundtable. I'm your host, Amir. I'm thrilled to have the entire crew with me today. Plus, we have a very special guest joining the show. Let's give a warm welcome to Big O from the Big O Radio Show. How are you doing today, Big O?
I am doing great, my brother. I'm hoping that the Heat recover quickly here, like kind of I did from my ankle surgery. So let's go. Let's snap from this regular season funk.
Yeah, I'm glad. Hopefully, you are feeling better, and thanks for joining. We're really excited to chat. And so we know the Miami Heat wrapped up their regular season on Sunday, finished with a 46-36 record, landing them in eighth seed, and we're back again in the play-in tournament. Yippee! So we have a crucial game on Wednesday against the Sixers in Philly. But before we dive into your thoughts on the upcoming game, Big O, I want to
Mhm.
address a pressing question aside from injuries this season. Who do you think bears the most responsibility within the Heat, the organization at a whole, for landing back in the play-in tournament?
Dude, it's all Jimmy Butler. They can't control him. You know what I mean? You paid him the salary, it's guaranteed. He produces for you in the postseason. He takes you to places none of us expected to be in the last 4 years. None of us expected 3 Eastern Conference Finals. None of us expected 2 NBA Finals. And none of us expected it last year where you coasted through the regular season and you still made it. And then you did it again this year. And so, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like your buddy or a family member that kind of drinks or does something on the side. And, they got a habit or something and you love them anyways and everything. And they're kind of responsible, but they kind of have their faults. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy has his faults and you bought into it. And really, in the end, I got to say, your responsibility was to find the other star. You failed to find the other star for one reason or another, except for the Dame one. I blame on Dame because he didn't really have the guts to play hardball like Harden, and he would have ended up here. Now he's like a little bitch complaining about being in Milwaukee, and it's like, bro, what did you expect? You went to Milwaukee, so it's a situation unlike anything the Heat have ever been in because it's not Heat like. As much as we used to say Jimmy fits Heat culture, he really doesn't, bro, because Heat culture, I don't care if you're selling tickets. I don't care if you're in the media relations department or you're a coach. I've been around all these people for over 30 years. It is a top-notch organization that works their asses off from beginning to end every single day. And that's been Riley too. And they're kind of in a rut now that they have a player that's kind of coming to the end. He's kind of breaking down. He's running out of gas. And he's kind of saving what he has in the tank. And so we're hoping that he's saving it again because that's the only drug that frees us from all of this, that justifies these actions. So you bought it, there's a movie called The Airplane, and there's a scene called Point and Counterpoint. And the guy turns to him and says, Shayna, they bought the tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. And so they don't crash. They don't crash. And they get to the postseason and it's glorious. So we're all in this whole thing. Like, I'm not happy about these two regular seasons. I kind of think, you're playing with fire and you're going to get burned. And I kind of think they're going to get burned this year. But the dude proves everybody wrong every single time. So I can't blame the organization. I can't blame Riley. I can't blame Spo. I can't blame the players because nobody's going to rattle Jimmy's cage because there's no other superstar. Okay. I covered the Alonzo Mourning teams. You try to pull this shit in the regular season with Alonzo Mourning. You go ahead and try that. Have fun pulling that. You know what I'm saying? It won't happen. And so it's a different demeanor. It's a different leadership. It's a different time. It's the NIL. It's this, it's that. And so Jimmy has earned all of this. He's manufactured himself into a star. That's why he's got to milk this to the end. And he's milking with commercials and he's milking it by doing all kinds. And you can't blame him. And then you can't also go against him because he comes through for you. So until this act runs dry, we really can't totally bitch and complain because it continues to work. Now, having that culture fester like that, it's completely anti-Heat, and it's not good for the young guys, to be quite honest. But again, if the master is going to rise from the ashes again and be the phoenix he's been for the last 4 years, then what could we do, man? What can anybody do? What can Mickey Harrison do? What can Riley do? What can Spo do? Really can't do it. And you've seen Jimmy. Is he really the kind of guy you're going to reach like that? No, dude, he's going to be himself. And it's Jimmy's world. We're just a squirrel trying to get a nut.
All right, Bago. So then, with that being said, do you think that Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat have another run in them? Because this might be the final run, like you said. So, do you think they have another run?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't. There's no signs of it whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? So until you give me there is nothing. There is no long-term example of that this year at all. So until I see a long-term example, there's no other star on the team. Okay, no matter what anybody tells me, Bam is not a star. Okay, stars have to enforce their offensive will on teams in today's NBA. In the 90s, when I was younger, and he's more Ben Wallace like that, except a little more offensive, then I'd make him a star in the 90s because you were scoring 80 points, 90 points. Points were a premium. But in today's league, you need buckets. You need a guy that can score and a guy that says, get the hell out of my way, I'm scoring. And they only have one guy in Jimmy. There's only one star on this team, and you're about to play a team that has 2 stars in Embiid and Max. So, you know, what are we going to do? I don't think they have it in them. But again, will the magic take over? And that's what we don't know, man. We don't know. We saw a bunch of scrubs go 31-10 in the second half of a season. That's the kind of stuff, and beat the Warriors and everything in that run. And we're like, what the hell is going on here? So, suppose the best in the business, the best on the planet. We're just going to go for a ride, but I'll go out on a limb so I can look bad, so you can take shots at me and tell me I'm an idiot. I think they're cooked. Okay, I don't think they get past Boston, if anything, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like last year. It's Groundhog's Day with this team. We really just have to have the wait and see approach. Is Jimmy going to turn it on? Are we going to be healthy? We have Rozier and Tyler. We know it might be a little different this year, but, you know, I guess I know a lot of people in Heat culture, a lot of people in the Miami Heat organization, they probably agree with your sentiments, Miami Heat fan as well. So I'm going to ask you this, Bigo, kind of take it away a little bit from what these guys talked about. In my channel, I always like to try to preach positivity, but it's been hard to find this year, especially with the last 2 seasons. So with everything that you're saying, with Jimmy not being Heat culture, I know you might say Jimmy on this one, but I'm going to throw it a little bit differently. Let's say if the Heat don't have another run. Let's say if we fall flat on our face like 2021. With 2 guys making $80 million next year with Tyler and Jimmy, do you think the answer is to move Jimmy, move Tyler, or Big O, move them both?
Okay, first of all, I don't know who the hell wants them. First of all, who the hell can handle Jimmy? Who's going to pay a guy $50-something million a year for the next 2 years when he does not help you in the standings during the regular season? That's not a good exchange. That's not even money.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm paying this guy all this money and I have to wait till the post. Well, dude, this is why you're in the play-in every year, because he's not trying. You know, Ira today on the show is telling, well, you know, they've had all these injuries and this, that. And I go, no. They're in the play-in because Jimmy Butler doesn't play 60% of the year. Okay? He might miss 40, and the other 20 that he plays, he really is not showing up. He's just kind of coasting, and you all know that. I'm not lying to anybody here. So that's why you're in the play-in last year. That's why you're in the play-in this year. You know what I mean? So I don't think they have another run in them whatsoever, but I don't think anybody can handle Jimmy. Philly was the one with, you know, and then you think New York with Tibbs. They just got the 2 seed without Jimmy. I'm not sure if they really want Jimmy at this point in time. And Tibbs wants a guy that works hard every single day. So Jalen Brunson's going to carry the load while Jimmy coasts. Is that what's going to happen? That doesn't fly with a veteran team that is not coasting. Those people fought for the second seed all the way to the last minute of the season. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler didn't care about any minute in the season. You know what I mean? So, and then Tyler, he's so injury prone and so unreliable that why would you trade for Tyler also? And so the Heat have kind of put, man, look, Riley's B game is producing all of this. Think about this. So I'll take Riley's B game over everybody else. Riley hasn't been at his best the last 10 years. They've given away picks. They've signed bad contracts. They've made mistakes. They've made a lot of mistakes in the last 10 years, I will admit. But I'll take this Heat organization every day of the week and twice on Sundays, and I'll deal with it. So I don't think you're going to be able to trade him. I think you're going to have to deal with it. And you got to get through the next 2 years, no extensions whatsoever. And instead of giving Tyler away at 10 cents a dollar, which is what you're going to have to do, then you bring him back and you hope that he can stay together in one piece and build up the. Meanwhile, Nicola, Triple J, start working on those kind of guys. You got another pick coming. You can work on that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you're better off trying to work on the foundation so you can get to liquidation and then bring in the superstar to go around the foundation that you're working on right now in a couple of years. That's probably, I think, the more realistic way, unless you guys can come up with a team that really can use Jimmy, and you're going to get, what kind of return are you going to get? You know what I mean? And then Tyler also. So if you guys have an idea, shoot. But I don't think it's going to be very easy to move those guys because one's already on the downhill and then the other one is unreliable.
Yeah.
I've done that exercise in my head too with where can we trade Jimmy and like what assets are they going to give up? Like a Thunder. They're not going to give up their young assets for Jimmy Butler to put them over the hump. Like they're not going to.
One, bro, and they got 4 billion picks. They don't even need Jimmy Butler, dude.
Exactly.
I set his team up so sweet. You know what I mean? I mean, he's got picks like crazy, bro. You know, that's those people did it right. They did it right.
Yeah, agree, man.
Big time.
What's going on, Big O? Nice to meet you
sir.
once again. My name is Trent. On this podcast, I'm more of the negative downer on this team. But I have a few questions for you too. So you was talking about Jimmy Butler, how he does whatever he wants and stuff like that. So say if the Miami Heat get bounced out early, say the worst scenario happens. We don't even get in the playoffs and somehow we lose to the 76ers or the Bulls or the Hawks.
Oh, that's true.
Now say that, right? And I don't think that will happen. But just say anything could happen in this Heat Nation, Heat culture, whatever. What do we do with does Jimmy Butler? Because Jimmy Butler's, I'm looking at his contract right now, is $48 million, and then in 2025, 2026, he has a player option, which obviously I think he's going to accept is $52 million. But do we talk to him, try to get a pay cut or anything to make this team a championship team? Like we want to win a championship because if we don't do that, we're just like you said, we're just going to keep running out with the same team and we're going to be a playing team or worse. So, do you think Jimmy Butler is willing to do that to help the team win? Because, Jimmy Butler's attitude all the time is no one wants to see this team in 7 games. And, I mean, he has been proving it, but this season is going to be interesting to see. I'm pretty sure you've seen the new Slam video. His approach is crazy on that one. It made me confident because I wasn't confident coming into this season. But, do you think that? And what do we do with Terry Rozier? Because we traded for him. And his contract is part guaranteed in 2025, 2026. Do you see a long-term deal with him coming, or is this his contract's up and we're done with him?
Well, look, as most of you know, in the NBA, contracts are guaranteed. Once you sign that, they're not going to give you any money back, bro. It doesn't matter who it. I remember we talked about the team that went 31-10 in that second half after going 10-31. They didn't give any money back after they got their new contracts, and most of those bums didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So in the NBA, once you sign, you're screwed. You've given the money, or you end up with Duncan. You know that at first we were like, yo, and now we're like, yo, bargain, bro. Yeah, bargain, bitch. That's what we're doing now with Duncan, right? So we're stuck with this contract. It's a cancer. It's an albatross. unless playoff Jimmy wakes up again, and then we're going to go, okay, because then we're all going to go, well, we're on for the ride. All right, next year we'll know that when November rolls around, we'll just say, all right, dude, just call me in April because I'm out of here. I'm not watching this shit for 82 games. I already know what he's doing for 82. I'll go see him when he comes in for the encore. You know, that's like we don't want to see the whole concert. We just want to see the encore. We want to see the hit songs on the encore. You know what I'm saying? So I think you're kind of stuck with that salary. I'm going to go the other way with you on Terry Rozier. I know it's a movable contract, but Terry Rozier is the kind of dude that gets better in this system with this coaching staff. And I think he will play his best basketball here for the rest of this year into the playoffs, whatever he plays, like he has lately, by the way. Yeah. And next year, you bring him back. I think Terry will grow with these cats here, actually. And Jimmy can't do shit for you during the year next year. You need some explosiveness. You need some guys that can score, that can get you some buckets. And he can help you in that area at times. I know I know Terry gets scary at times, but I think he'll get less and less scary here because they will hone his skills and make him a better player like they do most everybody else, that comes here. You know what I'm saying? So I think with Terry, I think there's a future for him here. And because the contract is manageable, why screw that up now? You know what I'm saying? You screw up many other things. Try not to screw this up. Now, if you want to be cheap and you don't want to pay some taxes and all that other crap that's happened in the past, well, then I can't defend that, and it's unacceptable. I never like a billionaire crying cheap. That's a bad look. You and I, that we're just keeping our heads above water every month, we can cry cheap, but billionaires, you're not allowed, bro. Bad look.
I mean, we know what Jimmy does in the playoffs, Big O. I just think I've said it before. I think you're hoping that Tyler gives you a healthy playoff run. You're hoping that Tyler balls out because I think this team is great the way they are. We know how Jimmy is annoying in the regular season, but when you bring back Rozier next year, you get a better, a more experienced Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic. If you're able to move Tyler for somebody that can help you better during the regular season, because I know Tyler was supposed to be that guy. Jimmy was going to take all these games off. You were hoping Tyler was going to take the next level. Hey, if he plays more games this season, and if he's not fragile, maybe we do have a better record. But I mean, I think this team with Jimmy, we know what we have in Jimmy. I feel like if we're able to get somebody else during the season, during the regular season that can help us get a better standings, we're going to be a nightmare next year. We just got to see where we go, my opinion.
Only if Himmy Joseph shows up. If Himmy shows up, then you can say, okay, let's go get that other guy and we can get over the top. But if Himmy can't show up now, then you have to say, oh, obituary, time to write it, because what you cannot do is add to the problem. And you can't bring a star in that then has to carry a broken star and a team, and you'll never get over the hump. Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen the blueprint. You need at least 2 stars, okay? You got cock-blocked by Jordan when you had Zoe and Timmy and all the other guys. That team was loaded enough to challenge for a title, but some dude named Michael Jordan was kind of in the way, and then Olajuwon sticking in his nose in there for a couple seasons. It was tough on everybody, on the Knicks, on the Pacers, on everybody. We saw Shaq and Wade have success, right? They would have won the year before if it wasn't for the thigh and the rib injury. They might have had both those 2 years. So they would have handled the Spurs and they would have handled Detroit. I believe they were. That was that year Shaq actually really played. That year Shaq was a freaking train that
MVP.
year. He was the diesel that year. The next year, Alonzo Mourning was the better defensive player in the finals. That's the weirdest part of it. So, and then obviously the big 3, where you had multiple stars. So we know what the blueprint is, dude. And dudettes out there, it's all about stars. And there's only one star on this team, and that's been the failure. Going back to the beginning of the conversation, you have failed to add that second star. And this is the reason why you have overachieved, but you continue to run your head into that wall because you can't answer when you have Jovic and Murray, because you don't have the Murray. or the Jovic, whatever, however you want to do it. I don't give a care, whatever. But that's the problem here. So you cannot get stuck with the albatross contract and try to tie yourself to another one. That cannot. That's why I'm saying that if he doesn't show up, you have to make the tough decision of, hey, Jimmy, been a great run. We'll run out these 2 years. We're not going to give you an extension. And you need to try to get yourself rid of Jimmy's contract and then get rid of Tyler one way or another over the next 2 years. Either you do it this offseason or you build some value and you get rid of them down the line, and then you can start to move on and turn the page and go find a future star that you can surround with Jovic, with Jovic and Triple J and all these.
Makes sense. So, Big O, before we close out, just give me a quick answer, quick prediction for Wednesday night against the Sixers. Do we got a shot? Who do you think is going to win that game?
Well, they got a shot, but you're going to need the role players to become, like ballsy. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, first and foremost, Jimmy has to be the best star on the court out of all three. He's not going to outplay the other two combined, but he's going to have to be the best star out of the three, the most impactful star out of the three. And then the question is, which one of you cats is ready to step up? Do I think they have a chance? Oh, yeah, dude, you got the best coach on the planet. But I think they lose. Philly's been playing really well, and I just haven't seen the track record from the Heat this year. So they're going to have to prove me wrong and show me that, yeah, they can just turn it on. I have a problem with that. I really do. Maybe it's the old school in me, but I have a problem with that. So I don't like their chances on Wednesday night, to be quite honest.
We'll see. We've had a lot of chances to get out of the play-in.
What do you guys saying? What do we got?
Oh, I think they will. I think that's nut up or shut up time. I think the Heat are going to answer the challenge.
Okay. How about you, Martel?
Tobias Harris over me. I think we'll definitely win it.
Here.
The delusional person in me says I think we're going to win it. I think Jimmy's going to show up at least for one game. So I'm going to pick the Heat.
So I guess it's 3-2 because Trent's going to join me.
Yeah. So how I think about it, like you said, 76ers on an 8-game win streak heading into this game.
They're 7-3
in their last 10. I told them I think we win, but I'm that's just me being biased. But I think we do lose this game, straight up. Yeah.
What was that again?
Yeah,
you played both sides there on me. What
yeah, because
Let the real one come out. Come on.
Listen. I'm gonna be biased because I'm a Heat fan for life. I want to win, but that team's tough.
Yeah. No, I understand that, Trent. I kind of feel biased too. Born and raised in South Florida, Trent. You kind of get a feeling here, Trent. What's going on?
I see.
Okay.
But can we stop Maxey?
They're losing.
Fair enough.
They're
Fair
losing.
enough. I'm rocking with Big O then. I'm rocking with Big O.
Miami Soul on here, bro. Miami Soul I got here. I covered the Soul. Okay.
The Soul. Wow.
Except I put a Bitcoin in the middle of the basketball because right now Bitcoin's a little bit more important.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
What can I tell you? No, I'm with you, brother. I mean, I love all my local teams to
Yeah.
death, but I don't. I got to do the job, and you got to call it. And I'll live and die on the sword. But I have no hope for them this Wednesday. I think they're going to get their asses kicked. So we're going to find out. We're going
to see Boston.
Let's see. It's going to be interesting.
If they get through this, I do think they'll beat the whoever the hell wins. What is it? The Bulls and who else is it? Yeah. So they'll get it done. I'm not worried about that. I think they'll get through that. But after that, Boston will be a tough nut to crack. So we'll see.
We can crack it though.
Huh? Yeah. But if they lose, at least I think they'll win the second one. At least that's
definitely.
Yeah, I think they better win the second one. Well, although I shouldn't say that, right? It was Chicago with
3 minutes left.
3 minutes left.
Yeah.
3 minutes left, and we were all, crapping in our pants here, going, "Yo, honey, get me the Depends." So it was bad, bro. It was bad. So you never know.
You do never know. But anyway, thank you so much for your time.
Anytime.
I know we really appreciate it. And so for everybody watching here, you guys can find Big O on YouTube. So find him on Big O Radio.
Show. Big O Radio Show. You can follow us there. Subscribe. We talk Heat. We talk all the local teams. You know, Dolphins, Panthers, Marlins, Inter Miami. You know, so whatever. We kind of cover it all. And Ira Winderman's on with us twice, 4 times a month. So he's always reporting with us. So we have a little fun talking some basketball on the show.
That's
so
awesome.
I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Big O.
Take care, Big O. Take care, everyone.
You're good.